A very warm welcome to all respected dignitaries, esteemed guests, colleagues, and participants present here today. We are gathered on this important occasion to observe World Cancer Day, marked every year on 4th February, a global initiative to raise awareness, encourage prevention, and mobilize action against one of the leading causes of morbidity and mortality worldwide.
We are very privileged to be joined today by special guests, Dr. Sana Tariq, Vice President, Metro Group of Hospitals, Dr. Sumant Gupta, MBBS MD, Director, Metro Cancer Institute, Faridabad, and Dr. Aditi Punya, MD, Radiation Oncology, Metro Cancer Institute, Faridabad, and also Ms. Kajal Prasad, founder of Scars to Stars. We welcome our guests with Holy Tulsi sapling. I request Professor Das and Dr. Manoj Garg to please welcome our guests with Tulsi sapling. A warm welcome to Dr. Sana Tariq, Vice President, Metro Group of Hospitals. We extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Sumant Gupta, MBBS MD, DM, Director, Metro Cancer Institute, Faridabad. We welcome you, Dr. Gupta. I request Professor Sethi and Dr. Navid to kindly join on the stage in welcoming Dr. Aditi Punya, MD, Radiation Oncology, Metro Cancer Institute, Faridabad. We extend a very warm welcome to Dr. Punya. A huge round of applause for Dr. Punya. We are also joined by a very special guest today, Ms. Kajal Prasad, the founder of Scars to Stars. We extend a very warm welcome to Ms. Kajal Prasad, and I request Professor Simran Tandon and Professor Bishwas to kindly join on the stage in welcoming Ms. Kajal Prasad. Thank you, Professor Tandon. Thank you, Bishwas, sir.
This year's theme emphasizes the importance of United by Unique, reinforcing that every person's cancer journey is unique and so must be our approach to care, compassion, and innovation. With this spirit, we begin today's program. I first invite Professor B.C. Das, Chairman of Amity Institute of Molecular Medicine and Stem Cell Research. Professor B.C. Das has made outstanding contribution in the field of cancer research, published several papers, has worked with the Nobel laureate at German Cancer Research Center. In India, he pioneered the work on human papillomavirus, HPV. He is a fellow of all the 4 major academies and has received several awards, including the prestigious J.C. Bose National Fellowship. With these words, I invite Professor Das to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, one and all. The most respected, our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, who is the founder of the Amity Group of universities. There are 13 universities and 17 campuses abroad, including the built-in campus, 170-acre campus in the New York, Long Island, is for the global hub. It is coming up as a global research hub, and also a Harrow International School. So there are also schools, more than 28 schools, the Amity International Schools, and there are more than 2 lakh students, all Amity universities, and more than 10,000 faculties, and more than 5,000 PhD students. And in this campus, we have more than 40,000 students and almost 3,000 research scholars, PhD scholars, and and the faculty are 1,500 or around 2,000. So this is the great, the huge, the education empire that has been created by our Honorable Founder President, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, who would be, I hope, he would be joining, but he might be listening and he may join last. So, next is our very dynamic Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan, and he has been guiding us for the all academic and research aspects. Dr. Balbinder Shukla, the Vice Chancellor of Amity University, and our additional Pro Vice Chancellor, Dr. Chandradeep Tandon. And they will be, Professor Dr. Balbinder Shukla and Dr. Tandon will be just joining a bit later. They have some urgent work in doing, and then so she has permitted us to go ahead with the meeting. So, but the most important guest today, for which we are gathered together here, though you are in we gathered in the morning, the huge gatherations to have the cancer walk in 10:15 or 10:20, and it ended around 11 o'clock. And then we had the other program, the posters competitions on cancer. There are more than 25 posters, and there are some awards has been given. The first, second has been selected by the 4 experts, and also the quiz competition. They are also, I think, I do not know the exact number. They will announce. They are also 7 groups were there, and each group or each team was 3 students. So there are participants which I welcome Madam Vice Chancellor and Professor Dr. Balbinder Shukla and Dr. Tandon. So today's the most important guest, they are the clinicians or the cancer specialists who have come from the Metro Hospital, Metro Group of Hospitals. So they first is the Dr. Sana Tariq, who is the Vice President, and she has a Vice President of the Metro Group of Hospitals. She has several awards or the recognition to her credit. She got the Rashtriya Padam Bhushan Sammanit and Bharat Vibhushan Sammanit. So she has the next Dr. Sumant Gupta. He is a MD in internal medicine and DM medical oncology and additional medical director, Metro Heart Institutes with multi-specialty, senior consultant and head medical oncology, hematology, bone marrow transplantation, and director, Metro Cancer Institutes. And he would be talking how this, because medical oncologist is one of the top specialty, and the treatment is on the cancer treatment is mainly surgeon is there, the surgical oncologist and radiation oncologist. We have also the radiation oncologist with us, Dr. Aditi Punia. So she is MBBS MD radiation oncology in the Metro Group Hospital, and they are from the Faridabad unit of the Metro Hospitals, which has newly has come up, and where the cancer unit is there, but other few places they have also started some cancer unit. Also, we have the cancer survivor, who is she has come earlier also. So she is Kajal Prasad. Ms. Kajal Prasad. She is from the scar to star, means listens to star, and this is her organization's name, and she is the founder, and she is a cancer survivor, I think 2 cancers, and she would be sharing her experience, and you can see her how bold she is. So this is important that we have not only asked requested the clinician invited to share how the cancer organizations, how the treatment, or how we should have the awareness. The today's program is mainly on the World Cancer Awareness Day, and the theme is United by Unique. It means that it is a personalized treatment with the patient-centered treatment that you give to the patients. That is what the main meaning. You may not understand that united by unique, what does it mean? But it is meaning that the care of the special care of the personal care or the personalized care of the cancer patients, cancer patient oriented care. So this is what it means. So this is the World Cancer Day was established in the February 4. Why it is February 4? Because in 2000 it was established by the International Cancer Control, the Union Against International Cancer Control. It has earlier a different name, but it has now changed to the Union Against Cancer. It was there, but it was Union for International Cancer Control, UICC. Since then, this day is celebrated every year, the 4th February, the World Cancer Awareness Day. Initially, it was a World Cancer Day, and it is therefore every year it is observed on the 4th February, and it is this year's, and with every year different theme. This year theme is the United by Unique. It was personalized patient care. That is what I told, the care in the for the fight against cancer. And there is an important thing that why we have wearing this type of ribbon, different color ribbon. Just to briefly to tell you that each color ribbon is given to the different cancer. For example, the bone cancer, it is yellow, but brain cancer, gray. breast cancer is pink, this color, and the cervix cancer is a green and blue mixed. So like that, it reminds the pressing need for awareness, this World Cancer Day, and education and action. Just not awareness and education, but also action. That's why in the morning I said that it is, you also help the person around, and you know the what is, if you are aware of these things, symptoms and all these things, so you can tell the people that you can go to the doctor and get you checked your and have the test done. So reduce the cancer. That is the main aim, to reduce the burden of the cancer all over. So, and it is important to give some, because I have, having spent whole life in the field of the cancer, I would like to take few minutes to share my experiences, as well as because I have spent the whole life in the cervical cancer, but the women cancer rather, cervix and breast. But I will briefly share. But most important to know that the globally, the cancer, it was the more important disease is the cardiovascular, but it was the top cancer, top disease that leads to the death. But it is now, it is the cancer in the most developed countries. The cancer is the most important, that it looks, and it causes the death, the highest death, in the leading cause of death throughout the world. But we are not far off. India is the middle income countries, it is coming, and they are also, and it is coming and touching that cancer is becoming one of the most important disease that cause the death. So the globally cancer looks epidemic, as 1 in 2 men and 3 in 3 women develop cancer. And by 2030, every second person around the world will develop one or the other cancer. So this is the proposition, and WHO has proposed that India's cancer burden will be doubled in next 20 years, and it indicates that the cancer will be epidemic in India, which will be soon be a cancer capital of the world. It has already become the diabetes capital of the world, but why it will come, why at all the India will be the cancer capital? Because it is uncontrolled pollution, rampant adulteration, contamination of the air, water, and soil. So what we eat every day and what we breathe or use in daily life cause heavy exposure to all of us to harmful chemicals, adulterated foodstuffs, lifestyle, smoking, radiation, pesticides, and the most important is the use of the indiscriminate use of antibiotics, including pathogenic bacteria and viruses. There are several cancer which causes virus. I will tell that the human papillomavirus causes cervical cancer, and that is having the vaccine, the first, you can say first cancer vaccines. So, but still it is not introduced in the national immunization program. It is available private hospitals and clinics, but it is announced 2 years back but by the government, but it has not been introduced in the national immunization program like COVID vaccines. But this, in spite of the fact that we have the Indian vaccines called Sarvavax, which is cheaper, and Indian vaccine for the quadrivalent vaccines, the HPV 16, 18, and 6 and 11. So it is important that our health, all these affect our health and also lead to the health of the plant, animals, and environment, which in turn affect the human health, because we live in the environment, we get the food from the plant and animals, and leading to the various diseases, including cancer. So this is why it has become, and some statistics to tell you that 1.91 million new cases in 2020 it has increased certainly now, around 8 lakhs deaths due to cancer, and 1 in 10 Indians will develop one or the other cancer in their lifetime, that is up to 70, 0 to 70. And I would not say much, it will take time, that the 94.1%, 1 per 1 lakh men are affected with the cancer, whereas women are more, 103.6 per 1 lakh females. And Kerala has the highest the mortality rate due to cancer, that is 135.3. So according to the ICMR cancer registry, 1300 Indians die or more die of cancer every day. So you can realize that what is important to then there is. So what are the most important cancers or the very prevalent cancers? The lung cancer, pancreatic cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, and colorectal cancer. But cervix cancer also very commonly, it was the top cancer earlier at a decade or a half before. Now the breast cancer has become the highest. So this is, I would little share with the cervical cancer, which I have spent my whole life in this cancer research. WHO strategy is to eliminate the cancer, cervical cancer, by 2030 by the principles of 90, 70 and 90 formula, that is 90% vaccination, vaccine is available, then vaccination, 90% vaccination and 70% screening by pap test or the HPV DNA test, whatever is convenient, and 70% and 90% treatment. So 90, 70 and 90. This is the formula given by the WHO. So it's the cervix cancer is highly prevalent, but it is a preventable cancer. So preventable cancer, and it is curable if it is detected early. It takes 10 to 15 years to 20 years to develop. There is a symptom which ladies do not share, but there is some irregular bleeding and all these, I think clinicians are there, they will share. So this is symptoms goes on for 10 to 20 years. So this time, if you can detect, they will 100% they will be cured. So this is what their curable cancer, like oral cancer or visibly can be seen. So the slogan is detect cancer early and save life. That is what we said in the morning in the procession, the cancer walk. So infection of the high risk HPV, it is caused by the HPV infection, human papillomavirus infection. And we have that, I have rather shown in the India, the 99% cancer, almost 100% are infected with the those women in India having the cervical cancer, they have the HPV infections. So having spent several years with working with Nobel laureate, and I returned and I first paper published that it is the women of India having the almost 100% HPV. So high prevalent in case of the, it is so HPV is established as the causative agent, but it is important to see that we have the vaccine available, including indigenous Indian vaccine, Cervarix, and the most common vaccine is Gardasil and Cervarix, and which can be taken, I will not, which can be taken in the generally 3 doses, but it can be now taken is a single dose, and it is Indian vaccines are available. And though it is not in the national immunization program, but it is allowed, but you can go, the few of the states has been taken, the health is the state subject, so it has been taken by Delhi, it has been taken by Punjab, and also northeast states have been taken. But you can go to the any clinic, the gynecologist or a pediatricians, and it is to be given to the 9 to 19 years. Now it has extended to 46 years of the ladies, but it is for the ladies. But more than 100 countries in the world, they have given to the gender neutral vaccination, means male and female, because the source is from the male person. So it is important that both are given the vaccination. So this has not been started in India, but at least girls can take the vaccination, or the ladies up to 46 years. So this is the different, but those who are higher age, more than 19, they have to have a one test or the HPV test, because If the SPB is already present, then there is no chance of getting the vaccine will not be useful. Okay. So I will stop it here. I would have many things, but important that I have already beginning. I have said about the poster presentation competition as well as the quiz competitions, and that is a very good active participation by the students, and it is first time done with the undergraduate and postgraduate students. So far we were doing earlier with the PhD students, but this time it was undergraduate and postgraduate students, and that was a good response. And thank you all for this response, and you have come in the morning in the big way, and this time also you have participated and listening to the Cancer Awareness Day celebration. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dasar, for your inspirational words. Now, moving forward, we invite our beloved Vice Chancellor, Professor Balwinder Shukla, ma'am. Professor Shukla has over 22 years of experience in organizations such as Shimrit Group, Intera Software, IIHT Systems, and Amity Group of Institutions. Professor Shukla's core competencies include establishing new business, HR planning, recruitment, developing as per business need, and process establishment. She is also the chairperson of more than 20 committees within Amity and outside, and is on the advisory board.
Very good. Our most respected Honorable Founder President Sir, Honorable Chancellor, my colleagues on the dais and esteemed guests. First of all, I would like to compliment and congratulate Dr. B.C. Das, Dr. Tandon, for organizing this very important, the World Cancer Awareness Day today. And I think those know the pain whose family member have suffered the case, and those who have heard the stories, they get some sensitization to help others. So I'm one who has two members in the family have suffered from the brain cancer. First my mother and second my niece. So I know that what the individual goes through it, and secondly what the family goes through it and how it impacts. And it also has given the learning what one should do and how to help those who suffer, whether an individual or the family. And that's why it was very important at Amity that we organize this World Cancer Awareness Day. For you as a youth, not only from this discipline or health and allied, but as an individual member of the society, need to be very sensitive that how do we help society, the individuals and families. And that's why Amity University has a very unique case, human values and community outreach. So that you understand what the community is, what the society is, and Amity University is where it inculcates the values, human values and the universal values. And the one important aspect of universal values and the human values are that care for others. Another is to have that ethical conduct. Our Honorable Founder President Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan, when established the Amity Institute of Molecular Medicine and Cancer Research, and where Dr. B.C. Das, as a chairman, along with his team, has been doing the rigorous research At the same time, the other institutions of health and allied sciences, under the leadership of Dr. B.C. Das, and biosciences and biotechnology domain, under the leadership of our additional Pro Vice Chancellor Dr. Chandradeep Tandon, have been all the time looking at how do we do the research and find the solution to those diseases which are extremely important, for which we must have some solution to save the life, to make the healthier this thing, and also because when we talk about the Viksit Bharat by 2047, our Honorable Founder President's vision right from beginning was that India to be the superpower by 2030, and now since the vision of government, our Honorable Prime Minister is the Viksit Bharat by 2047, and our Honorable Founder President and his entire team, family, the team from all the universities, the 12 universities, the 28 schools, campuses across 14 countries, are working relentlessly to realize this vision of our nation, Viksit Bharat by 2047. And there are the 5 pillars, the 5 visions of Viksit Bharat. And very first one, the vision is empowered citizens. In that empowered citizen also, the very first is about the holistic quality and affordable health and wellness for all. So so much priority has been given on this aspect, that the Bharat not only for the Indian citizen, but a Bharat to provide universally accessible, high quality, affordable and comprehensive healthcare enabled by world class institutions and one health approach. We have so many the international people, the patients which come to the different hospitals because they believe the quality of healthcare services in India are very good. And how to build that confidence further, that's where the government of India is working on it. And Honorable Founder President at the MIT University is focusing on research so that we also contribute to the nation building and to Viksit Bharat at 2047. The another second aspect which is very important is the Bharat to transform medical service delivery through fully digitized and integrated system with best in class technology, and the Bharat to be a hub of traditional medicines and export Ayush globally. So look at the whole audience who is sitting here. They all are linked with this. And today you are a student at the university level. By 2047, when you will look back and you will know that what all you have contributed. So you have to start envisioning and making the roadmap for yourself. How will you contribute to the nation building? What aspect of this very important vision of the Viksit Bharat empowered citizen, how are you going to contribute? How are you going to be the key players? And I think when today this the awareness campaign or the world class awareness day is being celebrated, I think lot many aspects will come in your mind. Maybe some of you will be associated with this deadly disease. Same way that we have the many other areas, awareness campaigns are being organized by the university. So I'm sure you people will find your passion and your dream. What our Honorable Founder President always said, that every Amitian will be a success story, and they will be the responsible citizen not only for the nation but the responsible citizen of the world, and bring change in the world to make the world a better place to live. And our Honorable Chancellor have always saw a great potential in the students, that they are the key player. Today we have more than 40% of our alumni who are across the globe, and they are contributing in a big way. So I expect from all of you that you will be doing even far more than your seniors. As the technologies are changing, as the expectations are changing, and as the need of the society and the nation are changing, that how you can reorient, realign with the national priorities and align your career aspiration with that and fulfill first your own dreams, but at the same time help in realizing the vision of nation. And I'm extremely thankful that we have wonderful speakers, Dr. Sumant Gupta ji, Director of Metro Cancer Institute, Faridabad, who is our guest of honor for the day. We have Dr. Aditi Punya ji, MD Radiation Oncology, Metro Cancer Institute, and Dr. Sana Tariq, Vice President, Metro Group of Hospitals. And I think it will be a great listen to a person who have survived, Ms. Kajal Prasad, the cancer survivor. And I think it's the doctors who play the very important role the moment the cancer is detected, as well as that the other service providers. My niece could survive for about 13 years. At the moment, she's in very bad shape, and we pray to Almighty that she should be recovered soon. But I tell you, those 13 years, the life which she enjoyed every bit of her life. She was just young, the 24 years, the pass out from the university, just took up her job. She had that all the dreams in her life that she will get married, she will have a child. She all had that. It's just about 2 months back that her old cancer, again came. Doctor did their best. They're still doing, but now it's only in the hands of the Almighty. The people who are helping her, not only the family but the outside, and I'm extremely thankful to all those people. That's why I said that all of you, how you will help in the society is extremely important. And that's what our nation, our country needs, that if anybody is in need, how can we help them so that the family is at comfort. Anyway, the family it's very, very difficult situation for the family. But when you have the people around you, something, some feeling that comes which makes you. And that's time the sharing the stories becomes extremely important. How did they cope? How did they manage? The family does not get that stress. That's extremely important. What should they do? And I think the doctors tell a lot, but the community service providers, when they also get engaged, that helps in a big way. And I think in the empowered citizen, and when we are talking about the holistic quality and the affordable health, that the communities, support will be playing the very important role. With this, once again, I thank our esteemed speaker for the day, as well as I congratulate Dr. Chandradeep Tandon, our additional Pro VC, and our Dr. B.C. Das, chairman of the AMSR, and the faculty colleagues who have been working for this awareness campaign, Dr. Manoj Garg, Dr. Jasubanta Sethi, and other faculty members, Dr. Simran Tandon, and whoever has played. So my congratulations to all the students and the faculty member for organizing this very important awareness campaign. Thank you so very much and wish you all the best.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for sharing your personal story, for inspiring, guiding, and motivating us all with your words. I now humbly request Professor Chandradeep Tandon Additional Pro Vice Chancellor and Dean, Faculty of Biosciences and Biotechnology, Amity University, to please share a few words with the gathering.
Thank you so much. On the behalf of most respected Honorable Founder President Sir, Honorable Chancellor Sir, respected Vice Chancellor Madam, Dr. Das, on our own behalf, I very warmly welcome once again Dr. Sumant Gupta, Dr. Aditi Punia, and Dr. Sana Tarek, and also Ms. Kajal Prasad. We are looking forward to hearing from all of you and also the experiences which Ms. Kajal Prasad will be sharing with us soon. I shall be very brief in my address. Unfortunately, as our Vice Chancellor Madam also just narrated, today if you ask any person in any family, it's very unfortunate there is always one or two cases of cancer or cancer survivors for that matter. And cancer is on the increase, which Dr. Das gave you data also. But you know what is required as cancer awareness. In the morning also, we had a very enthusiastic response from all our students, our faculty members, our HOIs, and all faculty members who joined Cancer Awareness Walk. Together, you know, it is very important we fight against cancer, but how to do that? As everyone said, and I reiterate that point, early cancer detection is the most important thing because, you know, when my own mother, she also succumbed to cancer. So as I told, this is what, you know, is becoming very rampant. But when the cancer is detected, it is too late. And when cancer patient goes to the doctors say that only treatment left to you is either chemotherapy or radiotherapy. That was used to be there. But fortunately, now there are advanced cancer treatment which are coming in, but they should be also affordable at the same time, which all of us know very well. CAR T cell therapy, we know that, and we also know beside that there is also techniques like AI-driven diagnostics, including liquid biopsies, imaging, and also menin inhibitors, gene editing. There are so many of them which are already, you know, our scientists have put their heads together and doing it. Being a scientist myself, I don't work in the field of cancer biology. I work in the field of kidney stones. I believe that now time has come where all systems of medicine, our Indian system of medicine, should also be, you know, contributing very well and should be shaking hands with the allopathic system. And it is always, you know, a matter of pleasure for us at Amity University. Our scientists in the field of Indian system of medicine are working together with a modern system of medicine, and we have got various research projects from Ayush, which of course, you know, Ayush is the one which depicts, which represents Indian system of medicine. They're working in the field, whether it's Ayurveda, whether it's by the form of yoga or Unani medicine or homeopathic medicine. Lots of our scientists are working together along with the modern system of medicine so that we can come up with some kind of a treatment for cancer. Because I believe if long time back, not so long, when SARS-CoV-2 came, all the scientists pan world came together, and in a record, you know, time of less than a year, a vaccine came out. So why not for cancer? If all of us work together and sanction and the sanctioning of the projects is given to those select groups of scientists like people of the caliber of Dr. Das and his colleagues. Similarly, in this whole world, in India, in our own country, rather than, you know, government giving fellowship to each and every one, whosoever applies in the field of cancer, we need to identify the groups who are putting in efforts only in the field of cancer in the last many years so that they can come together in a cluster and come up with some treatment for cancer. So this once again, I thank Dr. B.C. Das and all the organizers who have come up with the Cancer Awareness Day, and we look forward to hearing more enlightening lectures from all our guests today, all the doctors. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for motivating the gathering. The word cancer spreads fear, shakes families, and is a major burden in today's time. Some questions need to be answered, and a few myths need to be removed. For this, we now move to the most awaited segment of today's program, the guest lectures, which will provide the invaluable clinical insights and practical awareness. I invite Professor Jaswanta Sethi, Professor and Director, Amity Institute of Health Allied Sciences, to please introduce our first speaker of this afternoon. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Saif. I take this privilege to introduce Dr. Sumant Gupta, who has been the director of the Span Metro Faridabad. Dr. Gupta has been created with his MBBS degree from Tumkur, from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, MD in Internal Medicine from Chaudhary Charan Singh University, Meerut, as well as DM Medical Oncology from Cancer Institute, RDR, Chennai. He has been awarded with Taisai Young Scholar Award in the Best DM Medical Oncology, winners of Tycon Quiz Annual Conference Teen and Young Oncology Award. So he has been as the head of Department of Cancer as well as the senior consultant in Sarvodaya Cancer Institute, Sarvodaya Hospital, Faridabad. Along with that, he has been associate consultant in medical oncology at Vatra Hospital, New Delhi. Senior Registrar, Department of Medical Oncology, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi. So he has been with 20 years experience with the national and international papers to his credit. He has been accredited by many other awards too. His area of expertise includes hematological malignancies, bone marrow transplants. He has been credited for performing Faridabad's first ever bone marrow transplant. So thank you, Dr. Sumant Gupta ji, having accepted our invitation and coming over here to give a good lecture. So our students and faculty members will be very much enthusiastic to listen to him. Over to Dr. Gupta.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone from the management of Amity for having us here. And it's a real honor to be here amongst you. 4th February is the World Cancer Day. And I think we have a beautiful audience who will be listening with us and understanding what cancer is. Can someone run the PowerPoint? Can you help with the PowerPoint? Here it is. Yeah.
We'll be sharing the problem.
Yeah.
ये शेयर हो रही है?
शेयर करके कर दो, शेयर स्क्रीन कर दो. Thank you. So, understanding cancer. Cancer is a very complex word, and cancer has been associated with a lot of morbidity, mortality, a lot of sadness. But in all, we have to understand what it is, because if we want to fight any evil, we should know what we are dealing with. So today, let me go through this over the next 10 to 15 minutes, and then I'll be open to any questions. So what is cancer? Cancer is not a single disease. It is a group of disease. It is more than 150 to 200 diseases which are clubbed together and called as cancer. Some of them are very, very lethal, and some of them can be left untreated and do not have any impact on our lives.
Silent, take your seats. What happening? Faculty, please see that gate. Close the gate. Silent. What's the problem? Back to your seat.
Students, please settle down. I request everyone to please take their seats. Please take your seats.
It is not a hardcore science, it will be general talk. So you need to understand what is, nobody can spare this disease. Anybody can have it. So please have some patience to know about cancer from the mouth of a expert who has a 20 years experience. That's why I invited them to deliver a talk, the general talk. So you must understand what is cancer at least and what are the preclinical symptoms. So please go ahead.
Please settle down.
We know it is now a group of diseases, not a single disease. We have certain histopathological types of cancer. One is the carcinomas we keep speaking about in the layman term, which is any cancer arising from any organ of the body. Second are the leukemias, which arise from the blood cancers or which arise from the blood cells. And third is the lymphomas from the lymph nodes. Similarly, the last one is sarcoma. So these are the four group of cancers. And in this group of cancers, you have multiple subtypes. That is why it is a huge spectrum of disease. So what causes cancer? We are always there to blame that this is the cause, that is the cause. If we understand there can be genetic mutations, which are around 4 to 5% of all cancers. Most common cause of cancer is nothing but lifestyle, which I'll come to later. Then there can be environmental factors, certain pathogens, as we have been talking a lot about this HPV virus today, and sometimes due to other diseases, immunosuppression, post-kidney liver transplant. Coming to lifestyle, this is around 70% of our cancer cause. So, in other words, 70% of cancer can be avoided by our own self. Smoking, change in dietary habits. Now we are more into packaged diets, more into processed food. So, these high fat, low fruit and vegetable diet is a very big cause. Lack of exercise, unprotected exposure to sun. This is more of a Western cause because we are blessed with melanin, which saves us from skin cancer in India. And above all, obesity, which has become a lifestyle disease. And it not only causes cancer, but also succumbs to other cardiovascular diseases. Coming to the environmental risk, we have secondhand smoke. As youngsters who are in the hall, I request you that if any of your friend is smoking near you, please avoid that, because secondhand smoke or smoking in the car with windows closed is equally harmful as smoking a cigarette yourself. Air pollution, yes, with the with the levels in Delhi and nearby areas, it is also as bad as smoking, but that is for a limited period of time. Industrial pollution, chemical, pesticides are all been attached to the cause of cancer. So if we talk about the cancer deaths, or if we talk about this, diet, tobacco and alcohol is a sad combination. S for smoking, A for alcohol and D for poor diet, and it accounts for 65 to 70% of all cancers. Rest 30%, 5% genetics, 25% can be sporadic, which can be divided into infections, gender specific cancers like ovarian cancers, occupational pollutions, and whatnot. Inherited, as I told, is only 5%, and the most common cancers which run in family are colon, breast, ovaries, prostate cancer. Air pollution causing lung cancer. Now we have very large database evidences that air pollution is also quite high, and when you have these pollution levels of 600, 700 AQI, those are as bad as smoking a pack of cigarette a day. So coming to the causes, we always like to blame the non-preventable causes. That is our own tendency that government should do something, but we have to understand that preventable causes are the most important. So smoking, alcohol, diet, obesity, lack of exercise, HPV, and sunlight non-protection are some of the causes which are totally in our hand, and this will save us from the majority of cancers. Second part of my talk will talk about screening tests and self-examinations. What is a test? We all know what are blood tests, what are x-rays, what are CT scans, but a screening test by definition means that you are testing not a diseased population but a well population. So screening test is for a healthy population. So coming to, I'll be just touching upon breast cancer. Breast cancer is one of the most common cancers in ladies, and usually it comes as a painless lump in the breast or inversion of nipple or any discharge from the nipple. Risk factors again are hereditary, environmental, lifestyle, and genetic. We all have discussed that who will have breast cancer. So our great scientists, our mathematicians, some of us who are sitting here with us, discovered few models which was called as the Gale model, and they took out certain parameters of life, both modifiable and non-modifiable, and we had a score of 1.66. So those who were less than 1.66 came in low risk of breast cancer, and above 1.66 came in at high risk. So all of us, while putting our phone to scrolling for the reels, can go through Gale's index and can play this game. So who have been coming as high risk? So usually high risk by definition are ladies who have are nulliparous, that is who have not had any child. Any lady who has had the first childbirth after the age of 35. Those who have not been able to breastfeed their children. And the other group is those who have had repeated lumps in their breast during the early parts of their ages, early part of their life. And also those who have a family history of breast cancer, especially maternal or paternal first or second generation degree relatives. So these are the ladies at high risk, and they sometimes need increased surveillance, chemo prevention, and also surgeries. So this is Angelina Jolie. I think we have too many youngsters to identify her, but some other people will identify her. She was a very famous American film star who had a rare mutation which was called as a BRCA mutation, which runs in families. And if your family has this particular mutation, you are at a 80 to 90% risk of developing a breast cancer or ovarian cancer. And you know the treatment? Removing both the breast, ovary, and the uterus. So she went through this surgery of getting her breasts and ovaries removed, and then she came in public as an ambassador of cancer awareness that this needs to be done and it is nothing to be ashamed of. The biggest problem why we have cancer patients in later stages is because we try to hide from diseases. We should not hide from these things. We should be upfront and we'll get cured of this. So I'll just skip this. Dr. Aditi will be taking all this in detail. Last part, modifiable risk factors in breast cancer. We talked about the non-modifiable. The modifiable ones are overweight. If a woman is overweight at the age of at the time of a menopause, that is her BMI is more than 30, she is at 50% higher risk of developing breast cancer. So watch your weight, exercise regularly. If you exercise 0.5 hours a week, that is at least 30 minutes, 5 days a week, and that is a brisk exercise, whether a brisk walk, gymming, whatever you are happy with, you reduce your chances by 18 to 20%. And not consuming alcohol or smoking. Cervical cancer, I think we have spoken a lot about the HPV. I'll just skip through this. Again, one more cancer which is screenable and which is preventable is colon cancer, which is a very common cancer of the intestines, and a simple blood test which is called as fecal occult blood once a year or once in 2-3 years is a screening test for this. So, lot of bad things we have spoken about. Let us talk about something on the other part of the rainbow spectrum. So, a disease which had a 5-year survival rate of 10%, about 100 years back, has now come to a cure rate of around 66-70%. This is because of advances in cancer research and because of researchers like in the campus of AMSR who have been talking about newer things, talking about new treatments. Initially, there were three modalities of treatment. One was the surgery, which was the conventional treatment, that is removing the body part. Then came radiotherapy or radiation, which Dr. Aditi is an expert on, which is basically using X-rays to kill localized cancer cells. Then came chemotherapy, which I do and which was taken up as a very, I'll say, a very morbid branch initially because there were a lot of side effects involved. But what has happened is that chemotherapy has now moved into a more of a targeted era. It is like these nukes which only target the cancer cells. So you have a very good therapies, targeted therapies, antibody drug conjugates. You have immunotherapies for blood cancers. We are now doing a lot of CAR T cells at our center. We do bone marrow transplant. So the thing is evolving on a day-to-day basis. So this is something which has now evolved from the three modality cancer treatment to the newer modalities like immunotherapy, hormonal, targeted and stem cell and CAR T cells. Last, what is the best treatment of cancer? The best treatment for cancer is prevention. There is no other treatment. So we always have been talking about stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, or the metastatic cancer is stage 4. The best cancer is stage 0, where we prevent it from happening. These are few of the friends which an oncologist has, which causes the most common cancers. So if we are away from these two people, we are 70% away from the cancer. And this is a very good friend to have. Our plate full of colorful vegetables, healthy vegetables, and a balanced diet will reduce your chances of cancer to 20% and another additional 20% with regular exercise. So I think going back to our roots, going back 20-30 years when we were farmers, when we were running around, it was the time when the cancer rates were lower. So we have always been thinking, बीमारी आ क्यों रही है? हम ये भूल जाते हैं कि हमारी करनी है. So we have to get free of these. We have to go back to our basics, eat good, exercise. And I think there's a very nice quote, prevention of cancer by cancer screening. Do support the population and screen the population. Thank you for your patient listening.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gupta. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a big round of applause to Dr. Gupta for sharing valuable insights to us. I request Professor Chandradeep Tandon sir and Professor Das sir to please give a small token of appreciation from all of us to Dr. Gupta. Thank you, Dr. Gupta, for being here, for sharing the valuable insights with us. I request Dr. Sana to please join in giving a small token of appreciation to Dr. Gupta. I now invite Professor Tanveen Navid, Head, Amity Institute of Pharmacy, to introduce our next speaker of the afternoon.
A very good afternoon to one and all. I take this privilege to welcome our next guest of honor and speaker, Dr. Sana Tariq. Currently, Dr. Sana Tariq holding a coveted position as the Vice President, Metro Group of Hospitals, Faridabad. Dr. Sana Tariq is a distinguished healthcare leader and a recipient of two India's most prestigious national honors, including Rashtriya Padam Bhushan Sammanit and Bharat Vibhushan Sammanit. With over 12 years of extensive experience in healthcare management and clinical research, Dr. Sana Tariq is deeply committed to advancing clinical quality, patient safety, global healthcare collaborations, and accessibility in advanced medical services. She embodies dedication, empathy, and purpose, serving as a role model for future healthcare professionals and continue to drive the mission of delivering world-class healthcare with humanity. With this word, I request Dr. Sana Tariq to address the gathering. Thank you.
A very warm good afternoon to everyone present here. Bit warm outside, right? I'm Dr. Sana Tariq, Vice President, Metro Group of Hospitals. On this World Cancer Day, it is truly an honor for me for being here at Amity University, Noida, an institution that stands for academic excellence, innovation, and a strong commitment to societal well-being. Amity University plays a pivotal role in shaping young minds, research, innovation, and creating socially responsible citizens who influence positive for the society. Today is World Cancer Day. When we hear this word cancer, the very first emotion comes to our mind is of fear, isn't it? I want to replace it with facts, hope, and responsibility. Cancer is not one disease. It is a group of hundred of diseases. And the most important truth I want to convey is that most of the cancers are preventable and many of them are curable if detected early. Nearly 40% of the cancers can be prevented through simple lifestyle changes, not a rocket science at all. For example, avoiding tobacco, limiting alcohol consumption, have diet full of fruits and vegetables, maintaining your weight according to your BMI, and yes, staying physically active. These are not complex medical interventions at all. These are just simple lifestyle changes which one needs to adopt. And here, education plays a crucial role in adopting them. This is where institutions like one, Amity, for example, can play a crucial role in empowering people to adopt them. When students are informed, they become ambassadors of awareness within their families, pioneer groups, and even in communities. Awareness leads to action, and action can save lives. The second powerful weapon against cancer is early detection. Cancers such as breast cancer, oral cancer, colorectal can be diagnosed early with the signs and symptoms and, of course, awareness. Please remember some important red flags. Your body always gives signals. You need to identify them. For example, any lump or swelling in the body, non-healing ulcers, unexplained weight loss, persistent cough, or maybe a change in the voice, and abnormal bleeding. Early diagnosis can save lives, but delay in consultation would definitely make a treatable case into a difficult one. Today, medical science has advanced tremendously. Cancer is not a death sentence anymore. With targeted therapy, immunotherapy, with the medications, with the proper equipments, cancer treatment has transformed altogether over the period of time. Many patients today are not just surviving, they are living their life to the fullest, a meaningful one. At Metro Hospital, we firmly believe that healthcare would go beyond the hospital walls. We are deeply committed in spreading awareness and promoting prevention through our outreach programs. Our collaboration with the academic institutions, one such like Amity, is strengthening this mission and bridges the gap between the medical science and to the public understanding. On this World Cancer Day, I urge you all to please remember prevention is powerful and hope is more stronger than fear. I sincerely thanks Amity University for providing this such a meaningful platform. Thank you, Amity University and its dignitaries for this such informative platform where one can share such thoughts and info to the public. Thank you once again. Stay active, stay hopeful. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sana. We extend a very hearty gratitude to you for being here. I request Chandradeep Tandon sir and Professor Das sir to please give a small token of appreciation, gratitude to Dr. Sana. Thank you so much, Dr. Sana, for taking out time and for being here with us. And now we again have a very important lecture, and I invite Dr. Pallavi Agarwal, Professor, AIIMS, to please introduce the speaker.
It is my immense pleasure to introduce Dr. Aditi Punya, Consultant Radiation Oncology at Metro Cancer Institute, Faridabad. Dr. Aditi Punya did her MD in Radiation Oncology from Regional Cancer Center, Pandit Bhagwat Dayal Sharma Postgraduate Institute of Medical Sciences, Rohtak, and also served as junior resident there. She has immense experience in conventional radiation planning, cobalt-based treatment delivery, brachytherapy techniques, head and neck cancer contouring, chemotherapy administration and radiation planning, toxicity monitoring, symptom management, and inpatient oncology care, and other aspects of cancer care. It is our great pleasure to have her today, and I kindly invite her to her deliberations, please. Can I have someone for this?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for the introduction, and I'll like to thank the organizing committee for having us here. So, my topic today is prevention and screening of cervical and breast cancer in India. And it is a very good thing that we are having this at this place where we have the younger population who are the target for this. So why this matters? Cervical cancer and the breast cancer, these are two most important cancers that are seen in women. So there are many new cases. I won't bore you with the stats. I'll go ahead. The importance of screening. Regular screenings are crucial for early detection, for raising awareness of the cancer risk, and empowering the individuals to take charge of their health decisions. These proactive measures significantly enhance treatment success rates and they reduce the stigma that is associated with cancer and especially among the women. So, early detection, it saves lives, increase awareness, and hence we empower the women. Now, the most important cancer we have is cervical cancer. It's a very great thing that this is the only cancer that can be prevented now. We have a vaccine for a cancer. So we are in the good times right now. The target audience for the HPV vaccination is girls aged 9 to 14 years. And we can also have the vaccination for females who are more than 20 years of age. The dosing schedules, it can be a single dose or double dose depending on the age. Where can you get these vaccines, which is most important? These can be accessed at government hospitals, any health centers, medical colleges, private clinics. You can go and ask your doctors for the vaccination and the immunization programs. These vaccines, these are highly effective and they are seen to have good results at reducing the rate of cervical cancer. So then after reducing the incidence, now we can screen the cancer at the early stages so that we can treat it properly. Next is the breast cancer, which is to reduce the risk and catch the cancer at an early stage. So risk reduction strategies, sir has adequately told us about most of them. You have to stay active, you have to stay healthy, sedentary lifestyle, you have to say no to that, exercise regularly, make good lifestyle choices, and one important factor in this, you need to know your family history. If any female in your family is having breast cancer, there might be a predisposition for that. So you do know your family history, go to the doctor, ask them if you are at risk, they'll have some tests done and you'll be on the safer side for that. In the females, there is also a self-examination for the breast cancer. I'll be touching upon that. So what are the strategies for breast cancer prevention? We have mammogram recommendation for women aged 40 years and above. Annually, mammograms are being done. For individuals who are at high risk, we have genetic testing. For example, if someone in your family has like 2 or 3 relatives have been having breast cancers, genetic testing has been done for that. And next is the importance of self-examination. Regular breast self-examination, it can help individuals become familiar with their bodies and identify any unusual changes that should be reported to a healthcare provider. We have steps for breast self-examination. First of all, what is the right time? It would be the middle of your cycle. You perform self-examinations monthly, a few days after your period ends. Look and feel. You have to examine your breast in front of a mirror and you have to feel for any lump, any changes in the color or any ulceration, anything out of the normal you might feel. You need to go and get checked by your doctor. And you have to report those changes. So from awareness to action, only 2.6% of the students have been vaccinated and the vaccine had been launched back in 2018. So it is better that you have a good action plan for that. You go to your local doctor, you ask them about the vaccination. Even at the age of 25 or 26, you can have the vaccination. But you can also encourage people in your family who has children aged 9 to 14 years. For boys and for girls, for both these genders, we have the vaccination. So what are the key takeaways? The cancer HPV vaccination can prevent cervical cancer. So vaccination and regular screening can prevent nearly all of the cervical cancer. Early detection is the most powerful tool for breast cancer survival. So health choices in your 20s define your future. Catch a vaccination and building self-exam habits are action that you can take today. And every story matters. By sharing knowledge and supporting your peers, you contribute to people-centered culture of care, which is the theme of our World Cancer Day today. Some of the resources I have mentioned here, you can go check the WHO websites, breast self-examination techniques. If you want to learn more about it, you can go check on these sites. So final thoughts, community engagement. You have to encourage community programs that promote awareness about cervical and breast cancer, aiming to reduce the incidence and mortality. Personal responsibility is the one thing that everyone should take away. Everyone has a role to play in their own health. You should have regular checkups, you should have screening and vaccination. If you have something that can prevent cancer, I think you should go for it. And you should build support systems among your peers, and which can foster a culture of health awareness and mutual encouragement for regular screening and preventive strategies. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Aditi, for such an informative talk. I now request Professor Chandradeep Tandon and Professor Das sir to felicitate Dr. Aditi. So science treats disease, but stories heal the soul. We now come to the most inspirational segment of today's program. Experiences shared by cancer survivor Ms. Kajal Prasad, founder of Scars to Star. Their journey reminds us that cancer is not the end of the road, but often the beginning of a stronger life. We respectively invite our cancer survivor to share her experience.
Hello, everyone. First, I want to thank Dr. Das, Dr. Basu, Dr. Vishwas to inviting me here and Amity University. मेरा इसके साथ बहुत strong connection है Amity के साथ, research के लिए भी और बहुत सारे experiences और research को देखने के लिए. मैं अपनी बात शुरू करने से पहले अपना थोड़ा सा introduction देना चाहूंगी कि मुझे कैंसर क्या, क्यों और कैसे. मैं 2 times कैंसर सर्वाइवर हूँ. Stage 3 गैस्ट्रोइंटेस्टाइनल, Stage 4 किडनी कैंसर. और मैं कोई भी चीज शुरू करने से पहले ये बोलना चाहती हूँ कि कोई भी चीज अज्यूम मत करिए. अपनी लाइफ में जितने भी हम सिम्टम्स को बात करते हैं कि हमें सिम्टम्स का ध्यान रखना चाहिए, हमें अज्यूम नहीं करना चाहिए कि ये मुझे इस वजह से हो रहा है या ये मुझे इस वजह से हो रहा है. और ये मेरी लाइफ में जो कैंसर आया उसका बहुत बड़ा रीजन है, क्योंकि मैं पढ़ाई कर रही थी और मैं 30 साल से कैंसर सर्वाइवर हूँ with 1 kidney and half of my intestines are not there because doctor had to remove it. पढ़ाई कर रही थी और मुझे लगता था कि मुझे कमर में पेन हो रहा है क्योंकि मैं पढ़ाई ज्यादा कर रही हूँ. मेरा कमर झुकी रहती है इसलिए मुझे पेन हो रहा है. मुझे कॉन्स्टिपेशन इसलिए बहुत ज्यादा है और मेरे को खाना इसलिए डाइजेस्ट नहीं होता क्योंकि मेरा खाने का सिस्टम नहीं है और मैं बहुत पढ़ाई कर रही हूँ और चीजें ऊपर नीचे हो रही हैं. आई वॉज अज्यूमिंग इट. When one fine day I fainted in the market, और जब मुझे डॉक्टर्स ने टेस्ट किए तो मुझे पता चला कि आई हैव अ गैस्ट्रोइंटेस्टाइनल कैंसर. मेरा पहला जो थॉट था वो ये था कि अब मैं करूंगी क्या, बिकॉज बाय प्रोफेशन आई एम अ सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर. पढ़ाई कर चुकी हूँ एंड ये स्टूडेंट्स जानते हैं कि सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियरिंग इट इज अ डिफिकल्ट सब्जेक्ट. और आई थॉट एवरीथिंग इज ओवर. एंड रिपोर्ट्स आने के बाद सबसे पहला जो रिएक्शन था मेरी फैमिली का वो ये था कि एवरीबडी स्टार्टेड क्राइंग एज इफ आई हैव डाइड. एंड आई वाज जस्ट थिंकिंग व्हाट विल हैपन इन माय लाइफ. दैट इज हाउ माय कैंसर जर्नी स्टार्टेड. एंड इट इज जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ माय डॉक्टर्स आई एम एबल टू सर्वाइव दैट बिकॉज दे हैव गिवन मी दैट स्ट्रेंथ टू फाइट इट. मेरे अंदर था, डेफिनेटली था कि मुझे इतनी पढ़ाई करने के बाद मैंने मरने के लिए तो पढ़ाई नहीं करी है. मरने के लिए तो मैं लाइफ में स्ट्रगल नहीं करूंगी. मुझे जीना है और मुझे वहां पहुंचना है जहां पे मेरी ये सारी चीजें कुछ तो ह्यूमैनिटी के लिए, कुछ तो अर्थ के लिए और मेरे खुद के लिए कंट्रीब्यूट करेगी. मेरी फर्स्ट सर्जरी 1995 की है एंड इट केम बैक. डॉक्टर से मुझे कहा था कि ये वापस आएगा. And I was taking all the precautions, but it came back in 1998. दूसरी सर्जरी मेरी काफी डिफिकल्ट रही। वो डिफिकल्ट इसलिए नहीं रही कि मेरी बीमारी को ज्यादा बड़ी थी या पहले कैंसर से ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स थी। वो बड़ी इसलिए रही क्योंकि मेरे पास पुरानी कैंसर की यादें थी। मुझे वो पेन्स याद थे, मुझे वो हॉस्पिटल के अकेले कमरे जो मैं छत को देख के गुजारा करती थी, मुझे वो याद था। एंड इट टुक माई माइंड। आई वॉज नॉट suffered because of the illness. I suffered because of the memories, of the pain, of the suffering, because of my mental condition. So I learned in my cancer journey कि आप कितने बीमार हो, उसका सबसे बड़ा कारण होता है आप अपने माइंड में अपनी बीमारी के बारे में क्या सोचते हो। क्या आप उससे लड़ना चाहते हो? क्या आपको ये लगता है कि ये आपका आखिरी दिन है या ये आखिरी बीमारी है, या आपको ये लगता है कि जिंदगी में ये एक फेज है जो निकल जाएगा? कुछ 2-3 साल हैं जो आपकी जिंदगी में ऐसा होगा कि आप घर पे बैठे हो, हॉस्पिटल की दीवारें देख रहे हो, उसके बाद जिंदगी दोबारा शुरू होगी। क्योंकि मुझे शुरू करनी थी। मेरे ब्रदर को हॉजकिंस लिम्फोमा था। मेरी 98 की सर्जरी के बाद 6 महीने कोमा में रहने के बाद और मेरा वेट 25 kgs था। I was that deteriorated. And my doctors told my parents to take me home because they had no hope that I will survive. वहां से जहां पे मेरे जीने की किसी को उम्मीद नहीं थी, मुझे मेरे अंदर जरूर था कि मैं ऐसे तो नहीं मरूंगी। Then my mother got cervix cancer in 2000 and she passed away in 2004 because she lost that hope. Because उनको ये लग रहा था कि मेरे बच्चे छोटे हैं और मैं शायद नहीं सर्वाइव कर पाऊंगी। It was her mind state. Then my brother got Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 4 and he passed away in 2013 but after 3 relapse. It was 4B stage and he fought very hard. Very hard. कीमो के बाद वो खाना नहीं खा पाता था तो वो पानी के साथ खाना निगलता था। And he won that fight. अगर वो अपनी कंसिस्टेंसी मेंटेन रखता, अगर वो अपनी हेल्थ पे फोकस करता तो 4B स्टेज को कॉन्कर कर चुका था। बट उसको लूज हो गया। उसको लगा जब मैं ये भी कर सकता हूँ तो आगे भी कैंसर आएगा तो मैं देख लूंगा। एंड इट वॉज हिज फॉल्ट। दैट इज वाई इट गॉट रिलैप्स्ड एंड ही पास्ड अवे। कैंसर इज नॉट अ जर्नी विच यू कैन नॉट कॉन्कर। अगर मैं आज यहाँ खड़ी हो सकती हूँ जहां पे ना किसी डॉक्टर को और ना ही फैमिली को ये उम्मीद थी कि मैं जी जाऊंगी। आई स्टिल हैव स्कार्स। मेरे एनजीओ का नाम, मेरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का नाम स्कार्स टू स्टार है। हर एक कैंसर पेशेंट को, सर्वाइवर को उन स्कार्स से स्टार बनने का हर एक मौका डिवाइन देता है और उसके अंदर का दिल उसको देता है। ये सिर्फ हम लोग सोच लेते हैं कि एक कैंसर आ गया और जिंदगी खत्म हो गई। कुछ खत्म नहीं होता। सिर्फ 2-3 महीने से ट्रीटमेंट शुरू होता है, कुछ सालों तक चलता है। 2-3 महीने क्योंकि टेस्ट में लगते हैं और 2-3 साल अगर आपको कीमो हो रहा है, रेडिएशन हो रहा है। और ये बहुत बड़ा हाथ है डॉक्टर्स का। अगर डॉक्टर्स आपको एक बार भी ये कह देते हैं कि कोई बात नहीं, सब ठीक हो जाएगा, इट मैटर्स अ लॉट। I remember my surgeon, Dr. K.K. Pandey, he was a dean of Rajiv Gandhi Cancer Hospital और वो मुझे सिर्फ आके बोलते थे क्यों परेशान हो रही है, मैं बैठा हूं ना। और उनका बैठना कहना मेरे लिए बहुत बड़ी बात होती थी। और जब मैं एमिटी आई और मैं डॉक्टर दास से मिली और डॉक्टर बासु से मिली तो डॉक्टर दास और डॉक्टर बासु सिर्फ एक चीज कहते थे कि हम लोग कर रहे हैं ना काम, कुछ ना कुछ तो रिसर्च हम लोग ढूंढ ही लेंगे। And it mattered me a lot. इसलिए Amity is not just an institute, it is my heart, जहां मेरा एक उम्मीद है कि हम लोग कुछ ना कुछ तो सर्वाइवर्स के लिए कर ही लेंगे और पेशेंट्स के लिए कर ही लेंगे। And thank you so much for inviting me here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Kajal. It's not easy, but it is required. Thank you for sharing your personal story with us. And I request BC Das sir, Professor Tandon sir, and all the dignitaries to please present a small token of gratitude to Ms. Kajal. Your courage is exemplary. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a big round of applause. Thank you for taking out time and being here with us. Thank you. So we come to another very anticipated moment of the evening. Many of you might have witnessed today and most likely be a part of it. We started the day with a cancer walk to make awareness. And then we had various competitions, including a quiz competition and a poster competition. The students enthusiastically had participated, and I'm sure all the participants, all the attendees, they learned a lot about cancer, how to fight cancer, what to do, and what not to do. So now we are going to announce the prizes, the winners, and I request all the dignitaries on the stage to please present small gifts to the students who had won in the prizes. So firstly, there was a quiz competition. Nearly 16 teams had registered for the quiz. After 3 rounds, top 2 teams were selected. The runner-up team is Mr. Robin Shah, Anshuman, and Mr. Paritosh Jha. These are the students of MLT and biochemistry second semester students. If the students are here, I request all of them to please come on the stage. I request all the dignitaries to please step forward. A big round of applause for the second team. You will all be able to share the prize and relish it. Online certificates will be provided to the students. A huge round of applause. Heartiest congratulations to all of you. The first prize in the quiz goes to Miss Onam Teki, Mehakpreet Kaur, and Sana Rashid. Again, the students of biochemistry, biomedical science, and MLT of second semester. Heartiest congratulations to all of you. The first prize winning team. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a huge round of applause.
അപ്പൊ അവൻ ചെറിയ ചമ്മലോടെ എന്റെ അച്ഛന്റെ മുഖത്തൊക്കിട്ട് പറഞ്ഞു ഇല്ലെങ്കിൽ എനിക്ക്
Never mind. So, The next category was the poster presentation.
ആണെന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു.
So now we are having the lighter moments. Nearly 14 teams had put up the poster. Many of them had individually prepared the poster. Many of them prepared the poster in 2 or 3. They all came up with beautiful ideas. And the runner-up team, actually the runner-up individual is Mr. Manan Pathak, BSc Biochemistry, 6th semester. 4 different judges from AIB and AIVI, apart from AIMSR, they had evaluated the posters, and the second prize has gone to Mr. Manan Pathak. He presented a very wonderful idea. Congratulations, Manan. And the first prize goes to the team of Ms. Ramya, Nirali, and Drishti, BMS Biochemistry 2nd semester students. A big round of applause to all of them. Congratulations to the winning team. A big round of applause, please. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. As we come to the end of this program, to formally conclude today's program, I invite Professor Manoj Garg, Assistant Director and Professor AIMSR, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. And on the behalf of the organizing committee, I extend my sincere gratitude to Honorable Founder President Sir Dr. Ashok K. Chauhan ji for his unwavering support, visionary leadership, steadfast commitment to advancing research, innovation, nation building, and recognizing the significance of the World Cancer Awareness Day 2026. I express my heartfelt thanks to our dynamic Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan ji, for his exceptional leadership and providing the necessary infrastructure, invaluable resources, and continuous encouragement that enable us to observe this prestigious cancer awareness initiative across the campus. My sincere appreciation goes to our Honorable Vice Chancellor Madam Dr. Balwinder Shukla ji for her clear guidance, constant support, and invaluable assistance in ensuring the smooth and successful conduct of cancer awareness program for health and well-being of all of us throughout the campus. We extend our sincere gratitude to Dr. Chandradeep Tandon sir, Additional Pro Vice Chancellor, for his unparalleled and unwavering support for the successful success of this event. We deeply grateful to our chairman, Professor B.C. Das sir, whose visionary leadership has been a constant source of guidance and inspiration. We have no words to sincerely thank our distinguished speakers and healthcare professionals, Dr. Sumant Gupta ji, Dr. Aditi Punya ji, and Dr. Sara Tariq, the Vice President of the Metro Group of Hospital, for sharing their expertise and insight, helping to deepen our understanding of cancer prevention, early diagnosis, and care. Their knowledge and dedication continue to inspire action and hope. We are also thankful to Mr. Pankaj Sharma, AGM Marketing, and Saurabh Bhatia, Assistant Manager Marketing of Metro Group of Hospital, for smooth coordination from Metro Hospital. We respectfully acknowledge cancer survivor Ms. Kajal Prasad ji for her remark, courage, resilience, and perseverance, which serve as a powerful source for inspiration to all of us. We sincerely thank organizing team, faculty member, student, staff, volunteer of science and biotechnology and health and allied science domain for their tireless effort and dedication in making this event very successful event. We are equally grateful to Wing Commander M.K. Sharma ji, Major J.P. Singh ji, Mr. Sanjay Singh for their valuable assistance in effective management of this event. We extend our deepest appreciation to the IT team and ESCO for ensuring seamless technical support and media coverage of the World Cancer Awareness Day. Once again, I express my sincere gratitude and thank to everyone present here today and observing this World Cancer Day. Thank you very much for your kind participation.
Thank you all for being a part of this meaningful observance of the World Cancer Awareness Day 2026. Let us leave today with a renewed commitment to spread awareness, support research, and stand together in this fight against cancer. Thank you and everyone for being here, for taking out time to be here. I request for a group photograph to the dignitaries, to the faculty members. I invite all the faculty members on the dais for a photograph, please. Please join us for tea just outside the auditorium. The students are all requested to please join for a cup of tea outside the auditorium.
All the dear students, there is a high tea outside for you on this World Cancer Awareness Day. Please enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you for your patience.